All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Double R Reacts, reacting to the ESPN's top 10 NFL Power Rankings Week 15 edition. All right, so on the left-hand side of the screen, you see my power rankings, and then we're going to react to ESPN's power rankings. So a lot of y'all last week were getting in me about having the Eagles over the Lions, and like I told you, it's a week-to-week thing. Eagles beat the Ravens on the road, which I consider a top 10 team. And the Lions barely defeated the Bears, which is a middle of the pack bottom end team. So you're going to see this week with my list, the Lions are back on top. Why? Because they beat a top 10 team in the Packers. I had the Packers ranked number 6 last week. The Lions on an 11-game win streak. They beat a top 10 team. The Lions are back on top at number 1. Number 2, Philadelphia Eagles. They win the game, but they struggle against a bottom feeding team in the Carolina Panthers. Still on their 9-game win streak, but the Lions win was better, and the Eagles barely won. So, and then yeah, the Lions barely won too, but you beat a top 10 team. Number 3, a little switch up there. We have the Minnesota Vikings with a dominating win over the Atlanta Falcons, 6-game win streak, and coupled with the fact that the Bills lost, the Chiefs barely won again. I am actually putting the Vikings at number 3, and I'm very curious to see where ESPN puts the Minnesota Vikings at number 4. Kansas City Chiefs, one loss team, but my God, the last like 4 or 5 weeks, man, is like it's always something of how the Chiefs find a way to win. They find a way to win, but it's like, wow. I know it's the NFL and nothing's a blowout, but this is one of the craziest 12-1 teams I've ever seen, man. A doink here, a block field goal here. This happens here. It's crazy, but I have that number 4. Number 5, the Bills dropped 2 spots because of the loss to the Rams. Now, granted, it was close. They were fighting back, but everybody else won. You lost, so I can't keep you at number 3, even though you look good in the loss. Even that defense got shredded, but the Rams offense, when healthy, is pretty good, like Dan Orlovsky said. Number 6, the 10-3 Steelers. You got a revenge game against the Browns. They beat you in that snow game a couple weeks ago. You got revenge, so that's going to bump you up a spot to number 6 because the Packers drop a spot. Even though they lost the game to the Lions, they only dropped 1 spot because the Lions are the number 1 team in my power rankings. Number 8, the Ravens on the bye week don't move at all because the Chargers lost. Broncos were also on the bye week, so the Ravens stay put at number 8. Number 9, the Chargers are gonna also stay where they're at, even though they lost to the Chiefs. It's hard to win an Arrowhead. You almost won. It was a doink that was the difference between you winning and you losing, and the doink, it went in. So I'm not gonna punish the Chargers at all because you lost to the Chiefs. Number 9, though, I have the Seattle Seahawks, who are on a 4-game win streak. Now, granted, they beat the Cardinals twice and the Jets in that mix, but at the end of the day, a 4-game win streak, they're playing good. They have a chance to win the NFC West. So I have the Seahawks bumping it. And I don't want to say against the Broncos because, yeah, they were on their bye week, but the Seahawks are playing really well right now. And if I had to put a 10A, 10B, 10B would be the Broncos, because they've been looking good. Even though they're on their bye week, they've been looking good. I think the Seahawks been playing with momentum. They're winning, and they were playing. So, yeah. All right. Now let's react to ESPN's top 10 power rankings for the NFL. Let's see who they got. They had the Detroit Lions at number 1. They had them there last week. Like I said, I had Philly there, and a lot of people, like I said, didn't like that, but we agree there. Number 2, they have Kansas City at number 2. They had them at number 3 last week, so they bumped up a spot because they lost, because they beat the Chargers. Interesting. Okay. I mean, I can't knock it. They're 12-1. Can't knock that. Number 3, Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles were number 4 in their power rankings last week. I have them number 1. They go up a spot. Even though they lose to the Panthers, the Buffalo Bills lost to the Rams, so they bump up to number 3. Number 4, Buffalo. They were number 2 last week in ESPN. I had them at number 3. They dropped down 2 spots because of the loss, and like I said, everybody else won. I had them at 5. They had them at 4. Like I said, I don't see where Minnesota's not getting the love. Minnesota has to be number 5. Yep, they are. I had them at number 3. They were number 6 last week. They jumped up a spot by beating. I mean, they manhandled the Falcons. They manhandled them. And you know, this is the Vikings defense ranks #1 in efficiency and #2 in points added. It allows 330 some yards. Like, damn, their defense been like that. Vikings opponents have averaged 433 yards. Wow. All right, so Minnesota's defense has been faltering a little bit, but I still think they're a very good team. Number 6, we agree here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. However, ESPN had them ranked number 5 last week. They actually dropped a spot because they beat the Browns, which is interesting. I had the Steelers at number 7 last week, so I had them moving up a spot because the Packers lost. So, yeah, I think that's. I mean, we're in the same ballpark. Number 7, we agree there. Packers. They lost to the Lions. Like I said, you lost to the #1 team in the league, so no loss there really. I mean, they did drop in my rankings, but that's more because the Steelers won. They had them at number 7 last week, so nothing changes there. The most shocking ranking, 32nd in drop passes. Wow. So imagine if the receivers were catching the ball. They might have won that game against the Detroit Lions. Number 8 is the Baltimore Ravens. We agree there as well. And mind you, I make this list before I even look at ESPN. So I'm seeing this list that you guys are seeing for the very first time. So we're kind of like seeing it at the same time here. And yeah, we agree. Baltimore, even though they're on the bye week, they stay put. And that's kind of the thinking I had. Most shocking ranking with the Baltimore Ravens, first in wide open throws. Lamar Jackson ranks tops in the NFL with 35% of his passes being wide open throws. That means 1/3 of his attempts have come with coverage separation. That's because Zay Flowers can get open in one-on-one coverage. That's because Rashad Bateman can get open in one-on-one coverage. If Deontay Johnson was playing, he's also very good in separation, but they don't use him. Very good in route running, I should say. So he's suspended anyway. But yeah, and I think that has the ability. That has a lot to do with Derrick Henry and that play action game when they want to use it, and Lamar Jackson's ability to, scramble is going to leave a lot of open plays. Number 9, the Chargers. I agree there. Even though they lost to the Chiefs, the Ravens and the Chargers stay put in ESPN's rankings. I agree there. A loss to the Chiefs don't hurt them. And number 10, they have the Washington Commanders at 8-5. I was debating about putting the Commanders there, but the Seahawks were hot. They were on their bye week as well. I didn't know the Commanders. So the Commanders, both DMV teams were on their bye week. I had no idea. I was like, the Commanders didn't play this week. But I don't know how they had them number 10 last week anyway, so they don't move. The Commanders are good. I don't see them as a top 10 team as of right now. They're still good though. I have Seahawks. What do they have the Seahawks at? They don't have the Seahawks. They have the Seahawks at number 13. Now I get it. You beat the Cardinals twice, the Jets. Who else did the Cardinals win in that time frame? They beat the Cardinals twice, the Jets, and they also beat the Bears. I'm sorry, not the Cardinals. I'm looking at the Cardinals schedule. I'm looking at the Seahawks. So Seahawks beat, let's take a peek. They beat the Cardinals twice, the Jets, and the 49ers. And before that, they was losing to the Bills and they lost to the Rams. So yeah, I get it. They haven't beat nobody, but you're hot. And that game against the Packers is really going to prove a lot. We'll see how good they do against the Packers. Is that game on the road? That game is at home. So they're at home against the Packers. If they win that game, that'll really solidify my point about them being a top 10 team. If they lose that game, then they're probably going to drop to 13. But they have Houston above Denver. I don't agree with that one. And I don't agree with Seattle I think Seattle's a better team than Houston, honestly. All right, let's take a look at the rest of the day. They got the Rams with a good win against the Bills. Tampa Bay, okay, and everybody else I don't care about. All right, so that's my reaction to ESPN's top 10 power rankings. What do you guys think about my personal power rankings, and what do you think about ESPN power rankings? Let me know in the comments section below, and I will see you next time for power rankings every Tuesday, reacting to ESPN. Have a good one.